Yo, what up, though? It's your man's Uncle P, and I'm sitting here with Tempo Ty, Monroeville, Alabama's finest. Rising out of the Jacksonville, Florida market currently. What he's doing right now is promoting the new single, Too Much. Tempo, what's good with you?
What's good, man? How you feeling? I appreciate you having me.
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. Just getting familiar with you as an artist, man, and the approach with everything, in the inbox was dope. Feeling the vibe, that's
Of course.
always a great thing, you
Yeah.
know, when you're dealing with media outlets. So yeah, I was interested in getting to want to know a little bit more about you, man. So let's go ahead and start off with what you currently working on, which is
Yeah.
the single "Talk Too Much." Tell me about it. What's up?
Yeah, man. Too much, man. That's like for me, man. That's one of those tracks that it's relatable to anybody. We all had those moments where kind of feel like you're doing too much, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, what I'm saying, in that song, man, it touches, and I just been getting a dope response, especially in like the Jacksonville area when the Mobile performed, and a lot of people love it, relate to it. So what I'm saying, we got that going right now.
Word, word, word. So how many times have you got a chance to perform the record?
Oh, bro, to be honest with you, I was actually performing it before I released it. I was
Okay.
actually, yeah, so I wanted to see the response and see how it is. I'm big on, going into the fan base and kind of seeing how they react and what they like. So I was able to get a genuine reaction from it and know, like, all right, this is hot.
Oh, that's dope. That sound like we got some season behind you as an artist then.
Hey, man, I just try to pick up. You know what I mean? It's a lot going on, bro. We got a lot of access to information. So, I just don't ever be scared to ask or look for it. You know what I mean?
That's dope. That's dope. Well, man, I thought it was a great record. How did it all come about, man? Did you I think I read somewhere like you like hearing that music. Was this one of your typical um things? Did you hear the beat and
Yeah.
it all came together, or tell me about that?
Nah, bro. That's exactly how it happened. Because to be honest with you, I'm a very like high energy person. So a lot of times, most of my records will be a little faster. You know what I'm saying, high tempo. So when I heard this wasn't unusual, but it spoke to me. You know what I mean? And I'm a big believer when you hear that music, when you hear that instrumental, it's gonna kind of tell you the direction you want to go. Whatever you
Right.
feel, that's what you're gonna make the song about. So
Okay.
as soon as I heard it, man, it kind of took me in that direction, and I do it would come natural and put the words down.
So tell me where you were when you heard it. Was you in the studio? Was you, on some earbuds? Like, how did it first hit you though?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I actually, and this was actually probably one of the quickest records I wrote. I was on the way from Jacksonville to Mobile, Alabama. I was actually coming just to meet with my team, my management, handle some business, and I figured like, yo, I need to have a record. I need to go record. I need to get in the studio, let them know what I'm on in Mobile. And on the way there, that's the beat they sent me, and I'm like, nah, I feel this. This is gonna come easy. You know what I
So
mean?
your management sent you the record, the track over.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
how it got to you? Oh, so
Yeah.
they chose it for you.
It was really like they threw it
Well,
out there to
just
see. Yeah, they was like,
right,
"You like
right.
this?" And it was one of those ones where I'm like, "Oh, I got this," because there's some records where, man, it might take a few days to write, or sometimes you got to take a little pause, and then there's sometimes where, bro, like you hear it and it's like, "Nah, this is nothing. I'll be done with this in a minute." So fortunately, that was one of them ones.
How far is that drive from
6 hours.
Jacksonville? That's it.
I-10 the whole way.
Dang,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
look a little
six
bit
hours.
further on the map.
Nah, not from Jacksonville. Because I-10 ends and starts in Jacksonville. So
Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we hop on right there, and it's a straight shot out of Mobile. Get off the interstate.
okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
well, speaking on where you was on the road from when you was writing the record,
Mhm.
um, tell me about coming up from a town under 10,000 people. I went and Googled it,
Yeah,
because I wanted to get an idea of, where Tempo came from as an artist,
yeah,
So I don't know how long you were there. I wasn't able to get any of that. So, tell me what it was like coming out 10,000 under population between Mobile and Montgomery, Alabama, right?
yeah,
Is
yeah.
it?
Now you're the spot on, bro. Now it was for me. I was fortunate, bro. It was a little different because my family moved from New York, and they family moved from the islands. So it was
Mm.
always a different mindset. So even though I was in a small town where some of my friends and their family had never left, every summer I was in New York, and I was, you know what I'm saying,
New York
in
down to
Brownsville.
Alabama.
What's
Wow.
that?
I said from New York down to Alabama. I
Yeah,
know
you
that
feel
was
me?
a
So it was a
shot, right?
dramatic. It was dramatic. You know what I mean? But it was that's also why I would have that music touch because in the summertime or in the house when I'm with my family, it's DMX, it's Pac Big, it's Hove, it's Nas, it's Fabulous, it's Dipset. And then when I go outside with my friends, it's Cash Money, it's No Limit, it's you know what I'm saying, Gucci, it's Jeezy's. So I was able to have that blend of knowing what I like to vibe to, but also having that wordplay of lyricism and things too.
You know what's wild about you mentioning DMX? I don't know if you saw the background before we went on, but this is actually me DJing, opening up for DMX at his last show, performing in Detroit.
That's hard.
Um,
That's hard.
yeah, that was a wild event, man, and
That's hard, bro.
I didn't know it'd be his last time in the city, so it was an honor, at
Bro,
that point.
I know you interviewing me, but I gotta ask you, how was that energy?
Oh, you already know, bro.
Yeah.
You you already know. It's first of all, seeing him live for the first time years before that, it was on that tour where he was with Redman and Meth,
Yeah.
and they were all on the same tour. And the way he rocked his set with just him and a DJ, I had never seen somebody hold down a stage at an arena like he did by himself. Like it was something unimaginable. And he was kind of introverted, but he was real cool,
Yeah.
real quick. But man, when he hit that stage, bro, it is something else.
Felt it. Nah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope you got that moment, you know?
yeah, it was it's something I definitely cherish. But okay, so yeah, back to you. So New York vibe, all that. So
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So yeah, coming up from that small town, man, even though I'll be back and like, I my friends thought a certain way, the people around me thought a certain way. I had the advantage of actually seeing other places, seeing other cultures. So even though in my hometown, like it would only be this many people, this many ways or whatever, I was able to know like, nah, there's a little more than this. So I always had that mindset of doing something for my town, doing something for my city because like there's nothing going on for like the youth, the kids, any type of rec centers or anything like that. So you know what I'm saying, it leaves it open for them to kind of just do nothing. Like you said, it's less than 10,000 people.
Right, right. So, like in the area, are you getting your urban radio from Mobile or Montgomery, or how does that work? Were you in the middle where you didn't get, your radio? Like, how did
Yeah.
you get your music in
Man, it's,
that
it's funny
pocket
you
there?
asked that. Yeah, it's funny you asked that. So like in the part of Alabama, bro, it's like you might have like 7 country stations, 3 gospel stations, and you're gonna get that one hip hop, radio station if you catch the antenna right. It was out of Mobile. That's where we cut a lot of our music. So is now as an artist, bro, it's actually surreal for me because I'm back in Mobile doing a lot of work, and I've actually gotten embraced and gotten love from people like DJ Roski, DJ Dirty Dan, and for me personally, these are people I'm listening to as a kid in the car on the radio, and now I get to be in the studio with these people. So it's definitely dope.
That sounds dope. Tell me, how old are you when you're having this transition from going back and forward from New York to home down in Alabama? Like, how old were you during those years of going back and forward?
Oh man, it went on for a long time. I was like from like 5 years old to about a teenager.
Okay,
Yeah, so it was
okay,
real consistent. So like I said, it allowed me, even without consciously thinking about it, it allowed me to have a different mentality. You know what I mean? Like I remember graduating high school and everybody going crazy and crying and they excited. I'm like, what y'all on? Like, we got some other shit we gotta do. You know what I mean?
right,
Like
right,
this ain't nothing but for a lot of those people, that moment was like, yeah, now I just go to work and stay here. Which it
right.
ain't nothing wrong with that. But I think a lot of times when you don't have no other options, there is something wrong with it.
Right, right. And that's the unfortunate thing, man. When you don't know, you know, it's hard to hold something against people, and
Right.
that's the one thing with me coming from a big city and all that stuff. We tend to wonder how, we're so divided as a country.
Yeah.
But when that's where you've grown up and you ain't seen anything like it, how can we expect you to have a big city mentality?
Right.
You know, that's foreign to you. You might look at us like, we're wasteful, just
Yeah.
all kinds of opinions that you can gather. So though demographics and where people come from, you know, I that intrigues me because it
Right.
lets me know, what shaped you as a person, as an artist, and things like that. Now, one thing I did notice that in your bio, and I guess in your bio, I hope you're comfortable with talking about it. At what point in your life did you find yourself incarcerated?
Oh man, well the for the long term, I was I was like 19, and they
Okay,
sentenced me 2 years later. So I was fighting a case for like 2 years, and just going back and forth, going back and forth. And man, to be honest with you, I had been in trouble a lot before that, but
okay,
I was always doing something positive on the flip side. So a lot of times I was smart enough to get a lawyer and beat the case, or I
okay.
would smart enough to know my rights and follow sir. You know what I mean? So instead of
Right,
me thinking like, damn, I'm lucky, I think I started walking around with my chest out a little bit. You know what I mean? And I finally got into a situation where, and when you legit and you in school and you get into a fight, what to do? They suspend you or something.
right,
When you're an adult and you get into a fight, that's assault. You feel me?
right, right,
So
right.
I had to learn that the hard way. It went a little further than what I anticipated, and what I'm
Than
saying,
what
I
you
ended
was
up.
used to.
What's that?
Than what you was used to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I went a little harder, so the consequences were a little harder. So what I'm saying, I had to fight that. I ended up getting 10 and serving two. Um, but it was with that, like, not just the time, but the anticipating that time, knowing that I had to go away, it made me think a little different. It made me
Mm,
sit down and put my thoughts together and actually take writing serious. So when I went in with a plan already. Like, all right, write music, work on your craft,
okay.
read, learn words a little better and stuff like that. And I actually, bro, that's where I actually rapped out loud for the first time. When I started, I'd be in the corner rapping and writing, and then one day somebody's like, "Yo, I got a box on light skinned dude in the corner." You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then
Wow.
after that, it kind of rolls from there because ain't nothing going on. So to
Right.
be able to have that
Right.
entertainment and gamble on and everything, it started to become a reputation. And of course, for me, that started to build that confidence of like, oh yeah, I'm nice for real. Like I am what I thought I was.
Now you said that was first time you kind of rapped out loud.
Hmm.
Had you been, writing, playing with raps and stuff before you had went in, like as a child? Like when did music become a part of your life? Because we haven't even talked about that yet.
Yeah. So it's crazy. The music, it was always a part of my life as far as the influence of being able to hear in different places because, like I said, some of my family's from the islands, Puerto Rico and Panama. So, and especially living in New York sometimes too, you might go in here, some reggae music, then you turn the corner on Boricua Avenue, you hear salsa music, and then you over here and you might see a legitimate rap battle. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So for
Right.
me, I've always been a learner where I'm watching and taking it all in. So that's exactly what happened is over the years, I just kept taking it all in. And like I said, I'm back home. I had a friend that was a DJ, and he put me on music that I never heard before. He was like, "Yo, listen to this Young Dolph. Hey, listen to this. It's gonna be hot. This that new Jeezy. This is Tip. This is," and I was just kind of soaking it all in. And for the longest time, bro, I always tell people, I keep it real. I had that I could kind of attitude, like hearing people rap, like, oh, I could do that, or I
Right.
could make
Right.
that. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
But I ain't never take any action on it. And you know, God worked in mysterious ways, because when I started going through the cases and I started getting in trouble, and I went and saw a performance from J. Cole, and I saw him do something with 50,000 people, bro. He he told everybody 50,000 people. He asked if we could all put our arms around each other, and everybody did, right? And he never said a word. All he did was move his hands, and everybody started moving. And one pulse, bro. When I saw that and I walked away, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that one day. I want to be able to have that kind of influence one day and use it positively.
That's dope that you said that about J. Cole. I actually bought tickets for a show to take my son to see him perform because he liked J. Cole,
Hell yeah.
and he wasn't able to go, and I ended up going anyway. But I didn't. It's wild because I didn't realize sitting there at that show. I'm like, damn, this brother got some catalog.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting up here, I'm like, dang, this was the joint. That was I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, and I'm before Cole's time.
Hmm.
I can remember my first time hearing him, I think on was it Jay-Z? Was it on Watch the Throne? Something like that I seen. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought Cole was tight. So okay, okay,
Yeah. So that once I kind of went through that and I had that experience, it kind of everything happened at the right time where I was like, all right, be about action. You say you could do it, and I sat down and started kind of putting some of those stress factors and some of the things I had going on paper and started learning. And like, bro, the biggest thing about me is I'm a student. So like I'm not afraid of failure. Like that doesn't bother me. So when I first time I went to the studio, I was horrible. Ass.
okay,
It took me like
okay.
7 takes to do one verse. And they
Is
didn't
that
think I
because
was
you was
coming back.
nervous
Nah,
or
I
you
just
didn't know it?
I just didn't fully understand. I knew that it didn't sound in my head the way it sounded when I put it out. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So I
right.
didn't have I didn't have that understanding of my delivery yet, my voice, how to change my pitch and tones and things like that. But I heard it in my head. So when
Okay.
I'd hear it and it's like, nah, that ain't right, or that don't sound good, or that's not on. So I had to actually go back and actually start rapping out loud, learning how to do it to myself. And at that same time was when I was fighting the case. So I ended up going away. So when I went away, I was already like, nah, this is me. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna be. But I didn't have time to develop and practice yet. So
Mm.
when I went in, that became like, all right, this is gladiator school. Let's see if I got it.
Wow, that's crazy. So let me ask this, cause I read that you got tempo while you was in the joint. So who went in there? Who were you when you went in there?
Yeah, when I went in, I was my name was Taiwan Ferguson. I was a regular country boy walking in, but at the same time, it's funny because you know going in, you going with your city. So if you're from
Right.
a big city like a Birmingham, a Mobile, Montgomery,
That's what you
it's
rapping.
yeah, it's 20 people riding up with you, and then you got when you get to whatever spot you at, it's 100 some people from that city. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Where I'm from, like it was, we rolled up like 4 people deep, and I don't even know them 3 dudes. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know them. So I'm like, hey, everybody hold your own. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? If you get into something, we ain't like that. I don't know. So I had to sit back, but at the same time though, it was one of them lessons that came like you either gonna swim or you gonna sink. So I was able to pay attention and learn how things moved, learn, what I'm saying, what was respectful, what was not, what I'm saying, learning what I gotta stand up for and what I'm saying, what to pay attention. So, you know, one thing about it, bro, is, I hope it never comes to it, but if anybody ever asks, what I'm saying, there's nothing negative to say about how I did my time because I hustled, I took care of my kids and everything too, but I also stayed out the way. I knew what the mission was. You know what I
Right.
mean? I knew
Right.
I knew some of these people ain't going home. So, going in, I was myself. I was just Taiwan, and then once I started rapping, it was just Ty, and then it was like, man, that's the nigga that switches up the tempo. That's that nigga. It don't matter the tempo. Then it turned into that's tempo. And then every camp I went to, I had people knowing tempo,
Right.
and I barely knew the name. I barely knew who that was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but
Right.
then it traveled with me. You know what I mean? Like if you,
You built the brand.
I built the brand without even knowing. Not even free to build it. So, that created that. And, me just, being an artist, hearing that sound, Tempo Time, I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's it. We're gonna trademark that.
Okay. All right. That's dope. All right. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time there. We ain't trying to glorify that. Um, it's hard to believe that you were even in there because talking to you right now, but I know circumstances make the best of us do some
Yeah.
things that we gotta do to get that bread. And I
Yes, sir.
totally understand that, my nigga, for sure, for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
All right, well, I reading I picked up on three artists that seemed like they were kind of influential to your journey. I'm gonna bring them up, and I want you to tell me um, what was it about them that really moved you. Let's start with Nas.
Nas, for me personally, Nas is the greatest. You know what I mean? Because I'm a fan of the storytelling. I'm a fan of not just the storytelling, but being able to paint a picture. You know what I mean? Like, you listen to Nas, you can never been to New York, you can never been to where he's at, but he's gonna paint a picture in you and make you feel that story, make you see it. You know what I
Word,
mean? And make
word,
you understand something that you really don't, but he's gonna give it to you in that way. And I always thought that was genius.
word, word. Definitely, definitely, definitely. All
Yep.
right, let's move on to Cole.
Yeah. Man, hey, I always liked Cole, and I say light because that's what it was. I thought he was dope. I thought he was good, but bro, when I got to see him and I got to be there, and it was amplified. Like, I walked away knowing, like, hey man, I need to learn what that dude does, how he does it, what, you know what I'm saying, like, because it was, bro, like I said, it was 50,000 people,
Right,
and to see everybody move just with this man's hands. He didn't say go to the left, go to the right. He didn't say, he just moved his hands, and to see 50,000 people with their arms around each other, not concerned about no issues, no problems, no touching, no nothing. Everybody was just one post. That for me was like, man, that's enough influence to do something good. You know what I mean?
right,
Make a
right,
change
right.
on my town.
Right. So, how did that change your relationship with Cole music? Did you like pay more attention to interviews? Did you listen deeper into the catalog? Like, how did you use what he put out there to digest yourself and bring that out in you yourself as an artist?
No, that's exactly what I did, bros. I dove in. I dove into to really understanding what he was doing. So before, I was just somebody listening to the music and saying this is dope. But once I saw what Cole had and saw that energy, I wanted to understand why it was dope. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I wanted to understand all the way from the details of the format of the writing, understanding what a bridge was, understanding how, he did this with the hook, or how he changed his voice here, and also seeing, like, people don't think about this either. Cole's demographic, bro. When I was out there, it was all different types of people. This
Yeah.
festival was Bonnaroo. This is almost like
Oh,
a
okay.
yeah. This
Okay.
is Bonnaroo.
Okay.
So when we out there, it's not
Yeah.
it's white people, it's women, it's men, it's everybody,
This
and
ain't just
everybody
some
doing the
rap
same thing.
shit. Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right,
So
right,
it's like,
right.
that's the influence. It's not one group of people. Like, this man wave his hand has got this many people, these different kinds of people. So when I saw that, that's the kind of thing I want to do. That's the kind of reach I want to have. And I started diving into, like, okay, it was for me. It wasn't something he said. It was an energy. It was a feel.
Right.
So I wanted to dive into more of him as a person and see, what I'm saying, how he was able to create that energy, especially with me, because, I used to be somebody with a temper problem, with an attitude problem.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
wanted to be able to kind of harness that and put it in my
Right.
music.
Right. That's dope. That's dope. Um, Master P.
Man, P. Listen, you know how they talk about having a conversation with Hove, having dinner with Hove?
Right.
For me it's P, bro.
Okay.
For me it's P.
Tell
If
me
I could if
why.
I could if I could have a conversation, or just, what I'm saying, pick somebody's brain, bro, that's who it is, man. Like, it's crazy that you even have to explain why. Like, bro, P went to the league. P was opening businesses when he was a teenager, having record stores and companies. P was making dirty money, legitimate money. Like, any one of those things at those ages, you know what I'm saying? He was taking advantage. I think There was even a situation where his grandfather passed and left him some money, and he took that and used it and turned it into business. You know what I mean? For me, I want the loan money. I like what he does. I like how he moves. I like how he has the influence to make other bosses and other millionaires. You know what I mean? So for me, that's somebody. And too, you're always gonna relate to somebody who's around from the same kind of area you from. So
Right.
even though we know some of these people in New York and California are dope and they bosses and all that, like when you talk, I don't really feel the same because I don't know what you're talking about. I
Right.
know I
Right.
know P. He
You
came from
know
that
where he
same
came
country. Yeah,
from.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
That same dirty kind of grimy stuff. So it's like when he
You know
talking
the
about it, I'm
mud
like,
he came out of.
right, you know what I'm saying? Touched it, felt it. So, that's for me, that's who I want to be around because I want to be able to have that longevity in the game, whether it's rapping or whether it's being a business mode, you know what I mean?
Right. That's what's up, man. P's an icon.
Yeah, for
Definitely
sure.
an icon. Only gripe I had with P, man, dog. I'm a DJ too, so man, his vinyls, man, them mugs used to tear the needles up, bro. Like
Why?
you had to, dog. Like, but see, that's the beauty of it, bro. Like he was so from the gutter that he didn't know that you have to back then you need to master your records a little bit differently for vinyl than you did for the digital age. So
Oh, shit.
it
Okay.
was obvious, me as being a sound engineer and a whole long list of things, I knew that he mixed his stuff for a platform that wasn't for vinyl.
Right.
And bass makes the needle jump because of the grooves. So as a DJ, you put his record on, oh man, it was
All
distorted.
over the
I
place.
I mean, yeah, and when you think about it, when you was in the club, the mix never sounded great, but it didn't have to because
Nah.
it just banged. But
Right.
as a sound engineer, I was like, man, these are the worst sounding mixes in the world. But shout out to P.
For sure.
I'm actually kind of mad because he did that Uncle P movie, and now I'm competing with. Nah, I'm on some other stuff right now. Nah, I'm just playing, man. I like to crack jokes every now and
Nah,
then.
that's what's up. No, shout out
That's
people.
what's up. Right, for sure, for sure. All right, man. I saw it mentioned also that your music, or I don't know if it was that record in particular, that said your music puts them in the mind of emo trap genre.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
It's funny because that wasn't something that wasn't my intention. Like I said, most of the time my music it's high energy. It's a lot of, what I'm saying, sometimes aggression, sometimes it's mostly just passion. So with this one, this was like, I told my team like this was like my cool record, you know what I mean? Because it kind of put me in a vibe, it kind of sat me down and let me just kind of just snap. So when I started seeing the articles and things kind of labeled that way, I didn't mind it, but it's definitely not something that I thought, you know what I'm saying, that it's not something I was pursuing or saw myself into. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, you don't pick your fan base. If people like it, they like it.
Word, word, word. It's a record. Go ahead and enjoy it. Whatever it appealed to,
Yes, sir.
buy a ticket, come to the show, wait for that record.
Right. We're
I
gonna do
definitely have it
it.
on deck for you. For sure, for sure. That's what's up, man. I mean, speaking, we got to talking about sub genres, man. And I can tell that you're an intelligent artist. Talk to me, man. What's your thoughts on the music industry right now?
The music or the music industry.
The industry.
Yeah.
Or do you
Bro,
get into that side of things? Do you just handle your creative side and do you leave that to the management? Like,
nah,
because we
nah,
going to
not at
talk
all.
about them in a minute, but
Yeah, yeah. So
man,
yeah,
what's
we'll
your
we'll get more
thoughts?
into detail, but I got amazing management. But nah, I want to know. I want to know. I want to learn because, like I said, I'm about the longevity of it. And the thing is like, all right, you hear everybody talk about all the time, like, hey, the music industry's grimy, like it's dirty. You got to watch out. Like my attitude is like, bro, don't tell me to watch out. Tell me to watch out for. Tell me
Right,
what to look for. Don't tell me it's
right.
grimy. Tell me why it's grimy. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm always doing the homework. I'm always asking the questions. I'm always looking because I want to know. Because at the same time, like Anybody that's ever hustled before, there's certain things you just got to charge to the game. There's certain losses that you might take. But I'm a numbers guy. I want to minimize the losses. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
want to know, or I want to know what to look for. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to understand, like when you get in these rooms with these execs, you might not even necessarily speak the same language. You know what I mean? They
Right.
saying things that you don't even understand what they're talking about.
Right. Right.
So the
Right.
thing is like I'm a big believer in letting people do their job. I want my engineer to be the engineer. I want my manager to be the manager. And I'll ask the right questions. I want everybody to do their job. But at the same time, if you don't know enough about something, you don't even know what questions to ask.
Right.
You gotta just
Right.
take whatever they tell you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Right.
think that's why we ended up in some bullshit deals, and then so at first it's nice, but it's like you looking back at it. At the end of the day, you got to be accountable for that too. Like you signed your name,
In the internet era, there is no reason to be ignorant. Um,
bro.
it's a choice now. I can honestly say it's a choice
It is,
because
bro.
you can go to Google and ask it anything, YouTube, ask it anything, and if you take the time, the information is going to be there.
Yeah.
You might have to sift through it, but it's there, so it's no reason for that. So I'm interested in knowing, was one of your people being Master P. Master P got it in the era of getting it out the trunk.
Hmm.
How do you feel about it now being getting it off the net and it not being as, you know, financially it's a different time. How do you feel about that as an artist?
Believe it or not, man, I think I'm a little different from everybody else. Like I'm more of a I'm more of a like not so many excuses kind of person. You know what I mean? Because it's like, bro, if you got any kind of hustle about yourself, you gonna learn what the hustle is. You know what I'm saying? You
That's
gonna
what's
learn
up.
what it is. And like I know there's some negatives to the streaming and the thing, but like, bro, at the end of the day, if you talk to somebody that was doing music, you know what I'm saying, or involved in hip hop in the '90s or the late '80s when it was hot, bro, they gonna all tell you about how they got messed up and screwed out of some money. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
So at least with the streaming, we can understand how it's happening, what's
Mm-hmm.
happening, and we have the information to do it.
That data.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They was getting messed up over, and they didn't even know till maybe 10 years later, 20 years later, when they saw they was getting robbed, when they did an
Right.
audit or something. So
Right.
I don't necessarily complain about it. I'm the type of person like I'm not mad at the rich. I want to know how. I'm not mad at the powerful. I just want to know how. Maybe if I don't want that power, I want to know how to maneuver around it. You know what I'm saying? So with that, bro, no, I'm with it. I like it. I think it's dope because any artist, any real artist, can take their time, make something that's dope, make a legitimate project, and by themselves put out a video, put out an audio, and legally own the rights to it and have it on major platforms.
Couldn't be a better time.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, ain't
Couldn't couldn't be a better time. That's
yeah.
dope. How important do you feel it is to have a team?
That's your foundation. That's your foundation. I think too many people, fooled people talking about I never asked nobody for nothing. I got this on my own. They fooled y'all, man. They fooled y'all. I think they forgot who they got it from, or that they did get it from somebody. But that team is that foundation, and that's the first thing, bro, that I focused on because I felt like building my team early was going to be important because those are the most genuine reactions I'm going to get. I know what I'm on the way to being. I know what I'm going to be, and I know what I am now. But the bigger I get, the more skewed I think people's opinions will become because they just going to see Tempo Tie. They're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
see the person. They're not gonna see the goals. They're not gonna see the business side of it. So that was the thing I focused on first, man. Is building my team, having managers that I knew what they was about, seeing that they actually cared about me as an artist. They were fans of me as an artist before they were my managers. You know what I mean? So that's a big part for me, having the right people around me, because I would like to have most of those same people with me later on too.
Right. 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 That's dope. So you said, how did y'all come together? How did the introductions happen with the management team? How
Yeah,
did
it's
that
dope.
that
So
take place?
first off, shout out to the Bridge, Q and Sid. So those are my two managers. It started out with my boy Q. We from the same town, but see, when I came home, I actually wasn't allowed to go back to Alabama for a while. So I was in Florida, and man, it was crazy because I'm a big vision person. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be rapping. I'm gonna put out some crazy stuff. I'm working on this. Da da da. I had nothing to show for it, no music or anything. And I was reaching out to my boy Q because he was in school for music, and he was trying to do music management. And bro, he for like I want to say almost 3 years, he wasn't even my manager. He was just supporting my music. He was promoting my music, putting my music out there, helping me look for other managers. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just putting and the reason I stress that, bro, is because I can hire a manager to work, but I can't find somebody that's gonna think about how to make my music better when they laying in bed at night,
Right.
or when they at the barbershop and somebody bring up music and they're like, "Oh, you listen to Tempo Tie?" You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right.
that genuine care, you can't really pay for that.
Right.
That's not an occupation. So,
Right.
when I saw that, I'm like, nah, this is, and that's actually something I picked up from J Cole. His manager, um, Ibrahimovic, I think I may be saying that wrong, but that's his manager. He was actually a friend of his, and he was actually telling me, he said that in the article, like, your manager, everybody looks for this big time manager, but a lot of times your manager is right next to you. It's the person that's constantly promoting your music, constantly playing your music. You know what I mean? A lot of people like you, but when they get in their car, they're not gonna play your song. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right. Right.
it's yeah. So when I
Facts.
found that person of that value, and he was working with Sid and as a partner. And Sid, it's his perfect team because she handles a lot of the logistics and the business and the numbers, and she has those connections within radio. And then Q is they call him Alabama Suge Knight because he's in the street. He's gonna go to the barbershop, show my music. He's gonna go to the spots. He's gonna meet the managers, the team, and they constantly work. So it works both ways because when I see that, it's like I want to match that, and
Oh
I also
yeah.
want them to match it. You know what I mean?
That's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Sid. That's who put me up on you doing what she does.
Yeah, she's dope.
So let me tell you, she's very thorough, and I think she's great working on your behalf. So much
Appreciate
respect
it.
to her, and I'm sure your man's is that guy too. You
Yes,
know, so
sir.
I definitely look forward to building with you. And I'm here for all the smoke to see what's going
Yes,
down, for
sir.
sure, for sure. Um, Tell me about your nonprofit ambitions.
Yes, sir. So we actually, I'm assuming Sid mentioned that to you. We actually are just getting that started up, getting it working. Like I told you, man, the vision though has always been to be an influence. You know what I'm saying? Especially where I'm from. If I don't do something physically there, they can at least see me be an example and see that how easy it is to do something. Just put the work in. But for the nonprofit, man, it's going to be something that actually applies to something I experienced, and it is for prison reform. We want to do some things to show that what I'm saying, a lot of times in these places they are detention centers. They just hold you there. It's not actually any type of rehabilitation. You know what I mean? Like you get locked up, bro. There's two things only happen. You either become worse, or you become better. And a lot of
Right,
times that better is on your own behalf by you going to the law library and you going and reaching out for information, trying to learn these things. But people get out, bro, and they don't know that they're eligible to work. They don't know that they actually have these rights to do these things. They don't know that it's different per state. They don't even know, what I'm saying, like how come in some of these places that we've got guys working and serving lunch food, but not learning a trade, not learning
right,
carpentry and plumbing and
right,
HVAC. You know what I mean? So,
right,
the thing is, you still releasing these men that are fathers. You know what I mean? So, I think a lot of times, it's a generational effect. When this person gets out and they want to do better, they got 3 or 4 kids, two of them sons. That's still examples that they're being. They feel they're 35 years old, 30 years old. They don't have any skills. And I'm gonna tell you, if you're any type of man, you want to provide for your family, skills or not, like that's gonna bother you. You're gonna want to get
yeah,
some money. You're gonna want to take care of them. So I just want to be able to fill that gap with something legal and something lucrative, to where they can understand, like, nah, you can still have a future. Appreciate you.
salute to you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Real talk. That's what's up.
Thank you, man.
it
Thank you.
it don't it don't get no more realer than that, man. Salute, and I wish you all the success with that movement, because it's definitely necessary, and you've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, Before we wrap up, If you weren't an artist, I would be
Probably a salesman or a businessman.
salesman or a businessman.
Mhm.
All right. What area of sales could you like ideal? Like ideal. What would you be slanging?
Uh, I know, knowing me, I'm always looking to be a step ahead. So, like, say if you had to drop me off right now and I had to do something with sales, I'd probably do something with like electric vehicles,
Okay.
solar, things like that. Because
Okay.
when you do investments, a good investment is 5, but a great investment is 10 years ahead. So what I'm saying, I'd be looking to kind of set that up because I'm real big into working hard now, so I could chill later. I want to 10 years from now, I want to do shows because I feel like it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, that'd be my mindset. Trying to be able to head of the newest thing that people are gonna want to have, not necessarily have.
That's dope. That's dope. Thinking ahead. Definitely. And helping people
Yeah,
at the same time. Definitely.
yeah, bro.
Definitely helping people. All right. Percentage wise. So we got the graph here.
Hmm.
Tempo got his first meal. How you breaking it up?
Ooh, a meal. All right. So for me, I'm
That's
gonna.
you. That's you.
Yeah,
You ain't gotta cut your managers into
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
All
all
right.
you right there.
That
That's
make a
all you.
difference. That make a
Yeah,
difference.
that's why I pointed it out. It's a
Yeah,
difference. It's a
yeah.
difference.
Like I said, the team gotta take it to know that if the meal straight me, man. Like I said, I'm always thinking about residual, money. So I'd be looking for at least half of it to tear half of it in half and be able to make something off of that. So off a quarter million, off a half a million, I'd be looking into land, real estate, a business that I'm familiar with. You know what I
That
mean?
first
So
meal. That first meal.
believe it or not, yeah, bro, land.
That's what's up.
Because the thing
That's
about
what's
it, bro,
up.
is like I don't think people realize, as artists, like it's a blessing to be able to do what we do. We'll work for hire. You know what I'm saying? So I might have the craziest 3 years of my life where all over the world it's nothing but tempo tie. And I know that's coming. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, from doing time too, I got to see everything in life is temporary. You feel me? So while I see myself killing it for a long time ain't forever. And
Word.
if I purchase land with the first check, I could play a lot more later. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
you
So
know,
you understand delayed gratification.
100%, man. If you, like I said, you go through a few things, you either learn from it, or you keep going through it. And I got to
Okay.
learn eventually.
All right. All right. So that's a great answer. So that's 50% of it.
Yep.
We still got 50%. So what we doing? What we doing?
Yeah. So now, like I said, I don't like when people ain't realistic. So that other 50, I'm gonna take care of some things. Believe it or not, man, I did pretty good in my life. You know what I'm saying, taking care of debt and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna take care of some things. I'm gonna actually, house. You know what I'm saying? House. Nothing crazy. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna have 500,000 and get $1 million house. You
Right.
know,
Right.
you know what
Right.
I mean?
Where's
So,
your house at?
man, I'm staying in the South. Believe it or not, I'm
Okay.
probably not Alabama, probably Florida.
Okay.
Where I'm at, I like it
Okay.
just because like I've been fortunate enough to go to these different places. I've been to the West Coast. I've been Northeast. I haven't really been much in the Midwest, but I can go ahead and tell you I ain't too tough in the cold. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
So
right. Right. Right.
so I kind of already know where I'm at with that.
right.
But I would definitely, yeah, I'd probably still have a home in Florida, just because I love being around this energy, man. You know what I mean? I love being around the water, having that peace. For me, it's peace. So yeah,
Word.
I definitely have my little beach spot, um, and not in a big city either. I wouldn't do it like in a Miami or Orlando. I would do it in one of those cities in between to where I could still, have my privacy and have my time to, keep my head clear.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Tell me about the scene in Jacksonville. Like, what's it like? Is there a scene? Are you creating a scene? What's
Nah,
going
bro.
on there?
Yeah, no, man. I don't know. I guess Jacksonville's crazy, bro. Jacksonville's wild. I don't know if you've heard a couple artists come out of here, Young and Ace, Julio Fulio, like these are guys that have been, coming up pretty hot, but there's a big drill scene in Jacksonville.
Mm.
So when I came to Jacksonville, being an outsider from Alabama, it was a lot of things going on that I had no business, being a part of. So I go to the studio, go to perform. Go to record, and it's caution tape, and it's can't record tonight. So I had to learn basically the same thing. Like, okay, where can I go? Who do I need to meet? What kind of people I got to talk
Right.
to? But on the flip side, it's not all bad, bro. Because Nardo Jacksonville as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on. Artists, a lot of big artists come through Jacksonville to perform and to see talent. So it's definitely a scene. And on a local level, what I'm saying, I've been fortunate enough to, I've been killing it. They feel the energy, they love it. So I've developed a name there to where now I'm able to start traveling and performing in other cities.
Word. So, I mean, is there a scene for the local music? Like, is that consist of more of a open mic or showcase thing? Uh,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that
there's
look like?
plenty. There's plenty. The thing about it, I don't think people realize Jacksonville, Florida is actually landmass wise the biggest city in America.
Mm.
So yeah, you would think it's like New York or something like that, but not landmass wise. It takes an hour to get from one side of the city to the other. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? Jacksonville is huge, so you do have these different areas. Like by the beach, it's like what you'd imagine. That beach area, there's a lot more open mics. There's a lot of poetry. There's more. Sometimes there's even like an area where they do more like the kind of the backpack rap type thing. There is, what I'm saying, the drill scene, and then there's also just a local scene where artists come out and they have showcases. They got a dope support system out here among local artists in Jacksonville. I give them a lot of props for that, to where they big each other up, they support each other, they do showcases. You'll see a lot of artists that go from artists to being somebody that puts on a show. So it's a lot of opportunities to be able to get your face out there and get your 10,000 hours in, and practice on that mic.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, man. I can't say enough. It's been great talking to you. We're gonna get into one thing before we leave, though.
All
If
right,
you don't mind me sharing a record that I got, let me bring this up right
of
quick.
course.
All right, I think I got it right here. All right, we finna get into what I think might be your next single coming up, Chop Shop.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and see. I only listened to about 8 seconds of it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait and listen to it with tempo. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
see.
it's a banger, bro.
Let's see what we coming with.
Tempo time!
Yeah,
Um, I don't want feedback to come through, so I don't know if you
I
start hearing
got you.
that echo. Go ahead, do what you need to do. All right, bet.
We go crazy.
Chop, chop. Well, Mobile, Alabama, 251. Yee! Chop, chop.
See, I remember I was down bad, getting money out the brown bag. Fuck the pressure, that's the only thing my town had now pass. All my problems like I found cash, but to be about you steady, so I found class. I've been praying like I found mass. Aggravated when they make it, they faking and start to sound trash. Heavy hitter, this is soundtrack. What the South had? Time bring it home the crown back. Chop shop, welcome to the hot spot. Everything I drop pop, everything they knock. Chop shop, bars of a pop pop. Rap and get your top knocked, everybody glock. Chop shop, welcome to the hot spot. Everything I drop pop, everything they knock. Chop shop, bars of a pop pop. Rap and get your top knocked, everybody glock. R.I.P. to the dead MC. Music made them all that money, now they family in need. Separated by greed. You was talking about a move that you made in the streets. Now they make you a meme, saying still though. Keep it pushing with a real flow. I got the type of hunger that.
All right, we just gonna give them a taste of that record, bro. I don't want to put your single out there like that, man. I gotta save some heat, but they know what's coming, bro. That's hot, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir. Yeah,
loving
I'm
it,
hyped
man.
about that one. I'm hyped about that.
Thank you for sharing that with me, man. I really appreciate that. What's the mission when you see that dropping? That's your summer record?
Oh, for sure, man. I already got a date for it, man. That's dropping June 2nd.
Okay, all right,
June
bet.
second. Yeah, we creating a lot for it, man. We're gonna put this out and roll it out, man, with all the bells and whistles, because we know this is hot.
Dope, dope. What's the team got for you this summer? Like any festivals or any tours you jumping on? What's cracking?
Yeah, so
Where
nah,
can
bro, that's
people check you out?
for sure. That's been the mission this year, man. Is I'm trying to get in every city possible, as many stages I could possibly get on. Right now, I'm actually going to the Day Summit Music Festival in New York, in April, the 10th through the 19th. I'll be performing for a week straight, 7 days. So, you know what I'm saying, a lot of stage time, a lot of opportunity to get out there, you know what I'm saying, because I actually do have a following in New York. So I want to make sure, I show love to everybody that's been showing love to me and that physically get out there and put on a show.
Word, word. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate this time we spent together, man. Any last words, bro?
No, bro. Likewise, first of all, too, man, I gotta say I'm grateful as well, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us artists wouldn't be able to do what we do without, you know what I'm saying, these opportunities to be on these platforms. So I appreciate you too, my guy.
Word, bet. That's what's up, man. Tempo Tay.